Hello, warriors and supporters, and welcome back to CWF Presents CRPS/RSD is Real, our international edition. This week we have Barbara Francescato with us. She is a music therapist located in Italy called Music for Body. Barbara has an extensive background in music, and I'm just so excited to dive in. So, without any further ado, I give you Etha and Barbara in our third episode of our international edition.
Hello. I'm Ether, the VP of International Relations at the CRPS Warriors Foundation. Welcome to the third episode of our international podcast. To start things off today, I'd like to share a quote from the famous Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. Where words fail, music speaks. Our guest today truly brings this idea to life. Please join me in welcoming the wonderful music therapist, Barbara Francescato from Italy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ita. Thank you very much to everybody here that are listening to us. So my name is Barbara Francescato. I come from Italy, Venice, and I'm a music therapist. So I live playing all the day to help people to keep in touch to their soul and also to feel better in their life and to keep calm every day to to be able to live their lives.
That's amazing. That's the wonderful Barbara Francescato. Barbara, I think our listeners are very curious to know how did you become one of our professional resources?
Yeah. I was very lucky because, I'm a music therapist, so I work in different places, medical studios, hospitals, and other kind of places with a different kind of patients, from cancer patients to people that is trying to be helped with a psychotherapy path. And I was very, very lucky because I met you, Ita, during one of my events in Treviso City Center when I was playing some of my songs, some of my musics, trying to help a group of people to be relaxed and to be trying to help them to keep in touch with their core, their heart, their specific and beautiful part of their selves, that is emotions, and well-being. And in that occasion, Itar was saying to me, "Wow, why don't you play for us?" And I was already working for cancer patients, so I was already working, helping people to fight against neuropathic pain. So I was also here in this kind of path, of a music therapy path. So in my daily life, I usually meet people that has different situations of neuropathic pain. So they suffer from chronic pain, for example, in a specific part of the body. And I try to help them to reduce this level of pain thanks of my music. So listening to music and also trying to ameliorate their way of breathing, for example, or with some specific techniques of the management of their brain, because you know that the chronic pain it is created by specific areas of the brain that are not functioning a lot or as they has to function. So in my professional daily life, I try to teach them how to manage their brain activity to reduce this kind of pain. And of course, with music, it's more and more comfortable, is more and more beautiful to experience. So music is wonderful for this kind of things. I usually sing a lot, so I know that
Yeah,
you guitar. you
beautiful voice. I
that
love that. Actually, that day, the day I met you, I have to share. I feel that I have to share this. I remember that day I was really depressed. I was really sad. I had some pain. Mm, No, I had a lot of pain, to be honest. And I was like, the studio where you were invited me. To be honest, at the beginning, I was like, nah, I'm not going. Then I said, let's try, let's give it a try. Honestly, the pain I came with didn't go back with me home. And that moment while you were playing, I was like, we have to have her. The warriors around the world need to know Barbara Francescato and her magic. You know that I call you the magician. You know
Oh,
that I
thank you very
always say what
much.
you do is magic.
Thank you.
Well,
I think
but
that I am a very lucky girl because, there are a lot of people that would like to help other people to feel good, to have a good life. And for me, this is the God present for me is to help people in this. So I feel and I consider myself very lucky.
that's amazing. Generally, people when they think about music, just about, entertainment, maybe dancing, maybe a party, but talking about music therapy, some people wouldn't really understand that. Okay. I'm really actually very curious after I attended one of your sessions, after I saw by myself what you can do, curious to know what inspired you to become a music therapist.
You know that I was a marketing manager, so
Uh,
I didn't like my job. I was an e-commerce manager, so I was working for different companies to raise their money thanks to e-commerce sellings. And in that period, I was just a singer, a soprano singer, because I have studied for 20 years as a singer, as a soprano, and I was
uh,
playing with different projects, different musical groups, but I wasn't so happy because I was singing songs from other authors. I wasn't playing my own music, and I have always loved to create my songs and to play my own music. And I also had a wish, a special wish, that was to learn to play more musical instruments that I really loved. For example, the tubular bells that now I play, the vibraphones, the xylophone or metallophone, and also the harp, because I can give you a news here, and you are the first one to know it.
wow.
So on Monday next week, I will receive a new instrument for me that is a Celtic harp. So I will start
Wow.
playing also this instrument.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
So I started to, when just before COVID arrived all over the world, I had some free time for me to start studying to become a music therapist. So I chose two different degrees. One is an Oriental one, an Indian degree, and another one is a US degree that is also a European international degree. I started to study, and after some years, I get the degree as music therapist, and then I started to work because so I had the opportunity to leave the job as e-commerce manager, and I was very, very happy. Believe me.
That's that's amazing. That's really amazing. Actually, I didn't know that you were in marketing field. That's very new for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was working on communication, marketing, social media, and of course it was a crazy sweet job, but it isn't like singing every day, playing every day. It's better.
You mean it isn't like when you do what you love?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
it.
I realized my dream to work with music, to play every day at every hour, and to meet a lot of people. Because one thing that I was suffering in my past life, it was that I was meeting every day the same people. and trying to solve the same problems in the same companies. So, you know, a little bit boring for me.
So you just wanted to break the routine.
Yeah, I really like to break the routine and to start the day singing something to someone, okay?
And
And I realize my dream, so I feel very lucky.
beautiful. Actually, that's very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
So,
that every one of us has a talent. So if you believe in your talent, if you study to develop your talent, you can be useful for others. And I think that this is what God asks us in this life, to be useful for others. And every person, every people has this kind of talent, from a kitchen, from being a chef, for example, to being a great doctor, or everything else.
teacher, come on, I'm a teacher.
Or a teacher, yes, of course, of course. Inspired in my music therapy from two specific kind of music, three specific kind of music. One is the latest classical music, so the music composed by, you know, Debussy, Dvorak, Wagner, so authors like that were developing in a more specific way the feeling of emotions in music, because, you know, they are very, very strong expression of emotion in this kind of classical music that is not Mozart, for example. I was also inspired by two other kind of music that I listen and I have played for a lot of years with other past musical groups. One is world music, so music from all over the world, from fado music from Portugal to, you know, Arabic music from the desert, to Icelandic music, or
Wow.
to Sami Norwegian music. So I really love playing music from Norway, from Iceland, from Egypt, from Portugal, from Australia, and practicing more kind of popular music from all over the world. I discovered that each country and each people develop their way to express emotion, to nurture emotions, and to keep in touch with themselves inside their heart. Okay, so a jazz lover.
Wow.
You know, not the traditional jazz, so not the boring jazz that you can listen in a lot of bars here in Italy, but the innovative jazz, so new sounds, new melodies, new way of expressing. And I was influenced also by this kind of music that from two musicians that I met in the last 3 years. One is a trumpet player and the other one is a guitar player. I played with, so they, you know, they stimulate me to discover new ways of expressing, a new way of playing music. So my journey in my music therapy starts looking for my musical instruments that I needed, and I choose only peculiar instruments, that handmade instruments. So I have my own metallophone that is an artisanal metallophone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky because I have instruments that nobody else has all over the world, that specific artisans built for me and only for me, trying to express in terms of sounds, quality of sounds and frequencies, what people really need to receive to solve their situations. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Actually, that explains why I enjoyed your session very much. That,
Thank you, dear.
that can
Thank
tell
you.
a lot. Hey, oh, Barbara, after all these years being a music therapist and this experience you have, comes to you and ask you, how do you define music therapy? Because for some people, this is something very new. What
Mhm.
is music therapy?
Music therapy is a kind of help, so is a moment, is the moment that you can take for yourself to try to keep in touch with a specific situation that in this moment is not going so good, so well as we wish we could wish. For example, if you have a terrible headache, or if you are stressed, if you need to be more relaxed, if you need to put off all the thoughts off of your head, you can try to contact me, and I will help you with music, listening to music and listening to yourself to get off this kind of a situation. So it's like a journey, it's like a trip. It's like it's a specific trip, the trip inside yourself. So music therapy, receptive music therapy, that is the kind of receptive I have studied, is the way of help yourself to keep in touch with your situation, to ameliorate it or to solve it. Okay. Even if it is a chronic pain, even if it is a depression, or even if it is an hysteria situation, or even if it is, every kind of emotion, every kind of situation, every kind of daily life aspect, we can consider it, we can look at it from another perspective, we can find new colors, new way, and new aspects that can help you to leave this kind of situation and leave it back on your back. Okay.
That's amazing. I mean, that explains a lot to different people, because when you now a lot of people, when you tell them music therapy, they wouldn't, you know, they would be like, "What is music therapy?" So, guys, now our Barbara Francescato has just explained to you what music therapy is. That's amazing. Oh, Barbara, we know how you became a music therapist. We know what is music therapy. Now, can us to understand or to know how a music therapy session would look like?
Yeah, in my music therapy sessions, that are receptive music therapy sessions, people come and they sit on the sofa, they sit on my armchair that is very comfortable, very relaxing. Okay. Also, my cat loves my sofa. So you can sit down, and then you can try to breathe in a better way. So the first thing we do, first of all, is to close our eyes, to listen to our body, to keep in touch, and to trying to activate a dialogue with ourselves, with our body, and we listen to our breath. So how is today your breath? Is it calm? Where it is? Where is it? Is it in the upper part of the body? Is it in the lower part? Where is it located? And then we can try to uh, learn new way of breathing to ameliorate your relaxation. So this is how a music therapy session starts. And of course, when you are breathing in a better way, I will sing for you something, or I will play for you something that is relaxing, calming, and then keeps you in a that keeps you, this kind of atmosphere in which you can feel comfortable, you can feel secure, you can feel that you are safe in this space, in this time, and you can really be in touch with your heart. So what can I sing, for example? I can sing something like that. Hey, oh, hi. Oh, hi. Hey, oh, hi. Oh, hi. Hey, oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
don't know how lucky I feel now.
Thank you very much, dear. Thank you.
I was actually I was actually hoping to ask you later to sing something for us, and you've just
Yeah,
done that. Thank
yeah.
you.
Today I will sing
Thank-
more things to you just to give some examples of how
yeah.
music can help you. So, for example, a music therapy session can start like this with a melody of a voice that can bring you in a more comfortable and relaxing way. And then after, you can tell me if you can, what your sensations, your body sensations. You can tell me also if you see some images in your mind. So, for example, if you see a landscape, a beautiful landscape like a seaside or a forest, or a hill, or if you are inside a garden with a lot of flowers. And then from there, we can start a trip, a journey. So we can explore these wonderful sensations related to your specific moment. And these sensations, these images, these scenarios that happens, of course, are important for you because they can stimulate you to find new ways, new perspectives, new colors, new instruments for yourself to live and to ameliorate your situation. For example, if you are imagining, for example, a forest, it can appear an animal. Okay, so you can see
Yeah.
a bird, a beautiful bird, trying to say you, hello, dear, please keep light, follow me. We can
That's
fly,
amazing.
we can fly, don't worry.
You see, I was right when I called you the magician. I know that we have just talked about the day I attended one of your sessions in May, okay? As someone who had in the past a huge tumor, then they had to reconstruct um, the place from my using skin from my back. So you can imagine the pain I have. But I am very sure that our listeners would like to know more about it. How can the music therapy help the CRPS warriors managing their pain?
Yeah, of course, there are a combination of techniques, mind management techniques with music, specific kind of musics, specific melodies, specific notes, specific sounds that can manage CRPS warriors people to reduce the perception of pain. I can do an example. If you listen, if you keep in touch with the specific body parts, you can reduce the body perception of pain because you can activate specific mind areas. Okay. So, and I can ask you, for example, to listen to your belly in specific areas of the belly, because here there is the vagus nerve, that is, one of the most important nerves of our brain, that is managing uh, our part of the brain that can reduce the perception of pain. Okay, so if I can teach you some techniques to activate this nerve and these areas of your brain, of course, you can reduce the perception of pain. And this is my experience with a lot of cancer patients here in Italy that are also, in most cases, at the end of their life. Okay, so I work in hospitals and also hospices. Okay, and also at home with the more cancer patients that are facing, this strong part of their life when they are suffering a lot, suffering too much, and the medicines, of course, can help them, but not not at all. Okay, so for CRPS warriors people, of course, these techniques are good because the function is the same. And of course, with music, it's better because music can light, everything. Okay, so I can, when I ask you, for example, to listen to your belly in a specific area, I can also sing a specific sound, for example, like this, or a specific melody like this. So I can give you a technique, I can give you an example, I can give you a music, and then you tuck, you you can enter in yourself and you can manage this aspect.
So from here, I understand that the patient or the CRPS warrior who comes to your office doesn't just enjoy the session, okay, or relax during the session, but you also teach them some techniques that they can use at home.
Yes, of course, of course. These techniques are coming from all over the world. Some techniques are US techniques that were created by the founders of the method that I studied. And other techniques, for example, are Indian techniques, because of, you know, that I degree also in Nada Yoga Music Therapy, that is the Oriental Indian way of playing music and consider music therapy. Some other techniques are Tibetan techniques, so comes from Tibet, comes from also China and Japan. So I've learned different techniques. I also played for a lot of time, you know, Tai Chi, that is, and Qigong, that are the other techniques from you know, Japan and China to manage or the body system. Okay, so there are
Wow.
more and more, a lot of techniques to understand and to feel inside body. And what can we say about these techniques? They are very simple. It's only time to, okay, let's stop, let's listen to this part of body, let's listen to this kind of sensation, okay, or
Mhm.
let's imagine this kind of colors in that part, or let's listen to this kind of music, thinking about this landscape, thinking about this color, and pain can stop or can reduce. Okay.
Wow. Wow. So that really helps to decrease the pain. That's amazing. You know that CRPS warriors have, or just let's say, patients, okay? Of course, they all need to go to the doctor. They all need to go to the hospital sometimes, okay? As we need to do. So, can you tell us how the music therapy, okay, or how does the music therapy complement, okay, other treatments?
Yeah, of course, when I cooperate with doctors in hospitals and in other structures, they usually tell me which kind of body part they are working on, and of course they are telling me also the kind of medicines that the patient is taking to to face this kind of situation. Okay, then they can also describe me the approach of the patient to their situations. And then I do my own, click, 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 click. My mind is just working. And then I try to, I choose which kind of frequencies, which kind of techniques, which kind of music is good for this patient. For example, I can do an example. There are people that are more comfortable if they imagine landscape. Okay, so
Mm.
for example, if a person has a terrible headache, okay, has a chronic headache, and it usually feel free to imagine a landscape. We can choose to bring this person in a forest or at the seaside, and we with music and also with imagination we can bring to this person all the sensations, all the colors, all the, you know, the perfumes of this landscape. Because if you move your focus from your pain to other kind of sensations, your body, your brain learns these new sensations. So the brain is intelligent because you can, it is able to substitute the worst pain sensation with the greatest one, just imagining something else. Okay? So this is something like a miracle, and it happens when you imagine, for example, a landscape with music, but also if you imagining, for example, a color. So I can ask you, for example, I have a lot of clients that they love the color of blue, the blue color, the light blue,
I
of
do.
this side. Me too. So when I can ask you, I can ask them to imagining the blue color, of course, inside their body, of course, the perception of their pain goes low, is lower, goes down, because they feel, for example, their head all blue. They feel their heart all blue. They feel their legs all blue. And this color is, you become something else from what you are in the daily life. And this create a specific stimulation for your brain. Okay, so these are one of the two techniques that we can use, of course, with music, with my singing, with some melodies of other instruments, with the harp, and with the metallophone, the xylophone, and etc., etc.
That's amazing. Listening to you talking about it is amazing, but what's really, like for me, really amazing is attending the session, your session that I was really, let's say, lucky to be there. um, Apart from me, which I consider myself one of, let's say, your patients. Okay. Apart from me, can you please share one of the memorable, let's say, success story you have from one of your patients?
Yeah, I was working during the last 5 years in more different cases, okay, of patients. The last one that it was a cancer patient of 25 years old. It has a cancer at the bones, so one of the worst cancers, okay. And I have done a 6 month music therapy sessions with him at home because it was at the palliative care, and we have done different activities. The first ones that were to help him to manage and to reduce the perception of pain because, of course, it was enormous. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I discovered that this young guy was also an explorer. Okay, so before cancer, he was the one that went to the mountain, that went abroad, also walking, doing trekking activities, and so on. So I bring him in these sensations, imagining the landscapes he loved. Okay, he really loved, for example, Mekong River. Okay, and all the houses on the river Mekong, and we have done more sessions, imagining him in that area, getting the sensations, the experiences he really loved to have in his life. Okay, and their family, his family, was very happy about this kind of help I did, because the perception of pain was reducing. He stopped to take the medicines for anxiety that the doctor gave him to manage the you know this
Anxiety, yeah.
so this was a great goal we reached, that he didn't need anymore to take anxiety medicines. Okay, and of course, when you are at the last months of your life and you are sure that these are the last months, of course, you try to live this month in the best way you can, reducing the pain in all the ways you can try, and you try also to do the best experience you can in the way you can live in that moment. Okay, so this was, for example, one of my best cases, a cancer case of a special guy that now is watching us from the paradise. Okay, now he's here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and now he's in peace in a beautiful place. But I'm
I'm
very
sure that he had a wonderful experience with you, like we all did. I mean, as I told you, I came with terrible pain. I left with nothing, and that was for me something I couldn't believe. And I had actually to, if you remember, I had to convince my mom to come to you. You
yeah, I
remember?
remember. I remember that detail. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that
for
was amazing.
I have some other examples. A lot of people that ask me for a help, they ask me a help because they have headache, bellyache, so they can't, they eat something, but they can't, um, they can't give the food in a good way. So I help them to manage, stomach and all the processing of the stomach and other organs in that area. Or I also have a lot of people that can't
Mhm.
sleep very well. So I teach techniques and I play for them to calm them, to teach how to sleep. Okay, because you know that of course if you feel a lot of pain, you can't sleep very well. It's one of the one of the things that you can find yourself at night, with open eyes and and
Yeah,
uh, and you can feel also very tired. So in my daily life, there is a lot of people that can't sleep, a lot of people that have pain in stomach, in belly. And also I have managed also another kind of patients that are the ones that can hear very well because they
hmm,
have fire inside uh, their
yeah,
ears.
uh-huh.
So, with some frequencies, with some kind of musical notes, we can put away this fire that they have in their ears, and of course, they started to listen in a good way again. So these were other specific cases I really was loving to work on.
That's really, I mean, interesting. Um, Barbara, now I'm very sure that one of the listener would just ask you this question saying, how can music therapy help someone with neurological condition? As you know, CRPS is related to this problem, you see. So how can music therapy help them?
Of course, when we speak about pain in brain, we speak about the functioning of brain. So, in my degree, I have studied a lot the different ways and different areas of the brain. So, how do they function? How we can stop the functioning on of specific areas, and how can we activate the functioning of other areas thanks to music. So there are music that activate some areas and music that activate other areas. And of course, it's up to me to choose the correct music for you, just to keep stop. It's like to play the stop button of the area of where you feel your pain. Okay. For example, in some cases, for some patients, it can be also useful to work on their emotions. Okay, so okay, we relax, we keep quiet, but some people find also the necessity to express what they are living, what they are facing, and in that kind of situations, I usually ask people to choose their favorite song. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to work on this song because I help them to express themselves singing a song or playing something, also via online streaming music therapy. Okay.
And that's really amazing. I remember the day when I, as I said, attended your session. The pain I had that I can't use, well, I couldn't use at that time, my left arm and my left hand, where I had the pain. If you remember, I came like holding my arm, and the pain was terrible actually, and I wasn't able also to use my hand all the time. And then after that session, I remember the pain was like almost, you can say, 100% gone. I couldn't believe that. I know it's difficult to believe. That's why I always tell people, try it. Don't believe me, try it. Because I've seen that by myself. I mean, that, uh, I wouldn't blame people to say, what are they saying? Well, actually, it happens.
Yeah.
So,
A thing
it,
that I
it,
can say, just to give an example, is that if a music therapist would like to help you to keep calm and to relax yourself, of course, we have to sing and to play something very sweet, something very delicate. I can do an example with notes that are not so high, okay? Because
Mhm.
otherwise the brain, boom, activates, okay? So
Yeah.
which is the difference between activating and relaxing? Relaxing
Mhm.
is, for example, this kind of music. So this is a relaxing melody.
Wow.
And what about an activating melody? Now I can give you an
Oh, yeah.
example of a melody that I usually use for people that would like to express something important for themselves. Tegen time, all the time. Tegen time, all the time.
Wow. Someone listening to you like that would just say, she never finished that. She never stopped. It's amazing. It's really
So
amazing.
I've done just a little part of a big song.
Uh, Barbara, if you remember when I attended your session, you did something that was like the sound of water. And as
Yeah,
someone who loves water, I was like, it was a magical moment where I felt that you took me, like you said, to the sea or to a place where there is a waterfall, something like that. Please tell us more about it.
yeah. I have more musical instruments that bring the sound of water. Okay, for example, the sound of a waterfall, the sound of river, the sound of the sea, the sound of the ocean. Okay, so water is a very specific sound that can help people because first of all, it brings oxygen, it brings the sensation of open space, relaxing space, green, but also blue and light, seaside perfumes and so on. And these two musical instruments, the one is called the ocean drum, so the drum of the ocean, okay, that one that makes the ocean waves, the sound of the wind, okay. And I have also the waterfall drum, that is another instrument that creates the sound of the water when it's falling. Okay, so some people usually imagine a waterfall, okay, for example, Niagara waterfall, okay, or Marmore waterfall here in Italy. or other people remember the sound of the rain. So, you know, that rainy days that are very, very nurturing for the soul, because the sound of rain on the trees is also very, very special.
That was really, I mean, that was very special for me because as I told you, I love the water sound. Why I wanted people to know more about it.
Yeah, what can we say also about the temperatures of music? Because, of course, in music therapy, we don't work only with colors and lights and techniques, but we also work with temperatures. So, if a person needs to be brought in a fresh landscape, in fresh sensations, of course, I will play water. Okay. But
Mhm.
if a patient has to receive, you know, warm, a hug, a kiss, of course, I will play something sweet, not something cold or or too much fresh. So there
Oh,
are fresh melodies and there are hot melodies. There are cold sounds and hot sounds. And this is the concept of temperature in music therapy.
wow. That I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, in music
Oh,
therapy, we also study, you know, something from the traditional Chinese medicine, okay?
mhm,
And you know that in that kind of medicine, but also in Ayurveda medicine and also in Taoist medicine or in Tibetan medicine, you work with natural elements such as fire, so
mhm,
hot, warm, something that brings cold, something, sorry, something hot. And for example, water, that is the element that brings something fresh. Okay. So
wow.
we always think about the natural elements and what they can bring. But
Mhm.
in music, with melodies, with sounds, with frequencies, and with songs. Okay.
That's amazing. That's really wonderful. Um, okay, Barbara, say that we have someone who's new to music therapy, okay? And who's not really sure about it, still something new for people. As it was new for me, as I told you, like at the beginning, I was like, nah, I'm not going. Then I said, "Okay, let's give it a try, and I was really happy. I'm really happy that day I changed my mind. So, what advice would you give, sorry, to someone who's new to music therapy?
Yes, the first advice is to try. And in my case, of course, if you'd like to try, of course, the session can be done via online streaming if you are all over the world, or if you'd like to come in Veneto region here in Italy, we can meet in one of the studios where I work. Of course, the first session is not a high price session, but is a session in 20 euros. So you can have 1 hour for you, and it's like to eat a pizza with a friend. Okay. It's the
Yeah.
same price of eating a pizza with a friend. Okay, 20 euros. And the advice I can give you is to come with a question for me. So please help me because I can't sleep very well, or please help me because I have pain in my left leg, in my feet, okay, in my left feet. Or please help me because I'm not very happy. So I would like to become happy. Okay. So
Yeah.
the advice I can give you is to ask me, okay, to ask me, because of course, even if you don't ask me something, we can have, you know, some time together, and I can understand, of course, what is better for you. But if you come with something that you really would like to do, it is better, because you can say to me, please help me to relax my mind, please. Or for example, I would like to do a trip with music, imagining the desert of Sahara. So, you know,
Yeah.
these colors, and but going to an oasis where I can find a Tuareg, or for example, please bring me in a forest I would like to stay and to meet a big bear with a big hug for me, you know. These are the wishes that people usually don't express, but every one of us has strange wishes in their imagination. And with music, all is possible.
As an Algerian, because I'm originally Algerian, as you know, and Tuareg comes from my country. So next time, and since I haven't visited my country since a long time, next time I would ask you to take me on that trip to Tuareg.
But you know that I have composed specific music also thinking about Tuareg with the Byzantine musical scales, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's really
one of these
amazing. I
music.
didn't know that.
Ah, you didn't know. So one of
Yes.
these songs will be available soon because I am publishing a video and it will be published in 1 or 2 weeks. So you will receive it.
So you see, guys, in 1 or 2 weeks, we're having a new video.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Barbara, we're coming to the end of this episode. So I would like to finish this episode with a very important question for me, and I think also for the listeners, because as you know, the world is developing, okay? Every day there is something new. Every day there is a new technique. Now, does Barbara Francescato, I feel so Italian when I say Francescato, okay?
Yeah.
How do you keep up with the new research in music therapy?
Yeah, of course, one of my dream is to become a researcher in that field officially, of course, working for international institutes that are doing this kind of research. I hope maybe in the future. I give this wish to my star, and I hope that it can bring my wish to the correct places for me. But I know that now the research in music therapy is facing two kinds of aspects. The first one is the neurological one. Okay, so as we have spoken before, if brain has different areas and different kind of way of functioning, if we can test in more and more patients, in more and more situations, the functioning of brain, we can give the correct music for each people. Okay, so
Mhm.
this is a field of music therapy research that is always going on, and the founders were US founders in the 70s. So the first one that was trying to understand this kind of mechanism was a violin player
Mm.
of the Maryland. Okay. And this is a field. Another path of research in music therapy is the one related to single sound frequencies. So how a single frequency, a single note, can heal specific body parts, specific psychological aspects, and so on. So I'm very, very interested in more of this researching paths, but my favorite is the one related to imagination. So how can your imagination, your journey in music, so if you can imagine to be, for example, at a wonderful waterfall with, for example, a lion that is speaking to you and telling to you that, yeah, hurry up, life is life, you can do it. Okay. So this is imagination, of course, but if you find inside yourself this animal in this landscape that is your favorite landscape with a surprising animal that can say to you something special for you with the music, of course, you know that you can live in a better way. And this kind of research in music therapy is my favorite one because it constricts me to imagine strange things in my mind and also to bring people to have wonderful journeys thanks to music, and also to create specific musics for different landscapes, animals, and situations that you can imagine.
So, after all the information you have just shared, so we can understand that You don't say that it's enough for me, the degrees that I had in the past, but you always keep learning about this field, right?
Yes, of course.
That's
Yes.
amazing. That's really good. Barbara, I can't find enough words to thank you for this very, positive vibes, for the positive energy that you have just given us, all of us, me, and all the listeners, okay, who will be listening to our episode today. Thank you so much, Barbara. Uh, Before we go, I would like to let everybody know that Barbara also offers online sessions. But the question is, Barbara, do you offer, or let's say, on which platform do you offer the sessions? Because this is very important, I remember.
Yes, yes, of course. In these years, I have practiced that the best platform to do the sessions is Skype because
Mhm.
the audio is the better one. Okay. So if Skype, of course, is a free platform. So if you write on Google Skype, that's the name of the platform. You will find it, and it's a platform like Zoom or like WhatsApp, for example, but it has a better audio. Okay.
So that was very important information. Um, Barbara, do you offer online sessions to all countries around the world?
Yes, of course, we can manage it. And for I'm in Italy, so we have to consider the hours of delay. So
The time difference, that's
we
good.
have only to consider this aspect. But I speak Italian, English, of course, a little bit German, and also French. So with these three
Wow.
languages, I think that we can manage. Okay.
But the best language that Barbara speaks is music.
Yeah, this is my favorite one.
That's the best language. Oh, most important question is where can we find Barbara? Actually, you can go to our website, okay, CRPS Warriors Foundation, and you can go to the international professional resources. You can find her on as a music therapist. The name is Barbara Francescato. Over there, you will find all the information, all the contact details, and you can talk to her directly. Yes or no, Barbara?
Yes, of course. In a CRPS Warriors Foundation, you will find my website that is www.musicforbody.com. And of course, you will find my email, my telephone number, so you can contact me. And of course, I will answer to you very soon.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you, thank you. I really enjoyed my time with you. You are amazing as usual. And as I always say, you're the magician.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to
Thank
you
you.
all for your time together, for your attention, and for being here with us. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank,
And thank you also
thank
to the
you.
foundation for this opportunity to present my
Oh,
music therapy.
oh, you are very welcome. Thank you for being with us and giving this opportunity to all the warriors. So we are very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you for such a wonderful episode, ladies. And Barbara, thank you so much for being part of our CRPS community. We are so grateful to have you and to have your talents and positive energy to support our warriors. If anyone is interested in getting in touch with Barbara, you can find her information in the description of this episode. You can also find her on our website under the resources tab. Our website is crpswarriorsfoundation.org. If you would like to support the foundation and the podcast, please text CWF podcast to 53555. Registration is open for September support groups. We have one on September 7th and another on September 18th. September 18th, we will be having a guest resource pop in, Shannon Adams. She's going to talk to us about the wonderful benefits of yoga nidra. To make sure that you stay in the loop with everything going on and support groups and registration dates and events, You can sign up for a newsletter, or you can simply just follow us across social media. As always, it's been a pleasure, and we will be back on the 1st.